Canvas has really given me an opportunity to revamp my entire class. It's been able for me to create modules that are leveled, where the students, as they progress through them, get more and more challenging things for them to do. It's also given me an opportunity to work more one-on-one with students, to differentiate in that way. I know more about my students learning individually now than I ever have.
So I've been thinking about this a little bit, and basically there are three categories that this kind of would fit into. So first, with the organization piece, what you're looking at right now is my homepage for Algebra 1. My Algebra 2 homepage looks similar. And I consider this to be the dashboard, so to speak, for my classes. The students will come into class, they will log into Canvas and click the appropriate link for the day. And these contain that day's activities, the warm-up, the objectives, what we'll be doing with the new content in the class and what have you, the assignment and everything. But from a broader perspective, if I go to a calendar here, this is the Algebra 2 calendar in Canvas. When I initially plan out my courses, I like to, figure out the general pacing, even though I know it's always going to change, but we do have a certain number of standards that we're required to cover. And so I'll get that all entered in quite literally for the entire semester. And, if you click on any given day, with my entries, you'll see not only the objectives, but links to handouts that I'll use in class that day, examples, any homework assignments, appropriate links, so that's helping the students as well. Besides the organization piece, let me get back to a homepage and give you an idea. Yesterday, we did a pretty neat activity that incorporated Desmos. The tools that we can use and the links that we can put in Canvas really helps them think about things in more than one way. And that's what I love about this as a teacher. Okay, I was going to say more, but I'm actually going to rein it in a little bit on that. So the whole differentiation thing, it has really helped me with that. Plenty of room for improvement, but I feel like I'm making some serious headway with that this year. And I've been really happy about that because it's been one of my teacher goals. Last but not least, the communication part of this has been really helpful. We can communicate obviously in class face-to-face. We can email each other, we as in my students and me, but also Canvas has provided other ways for me to help them outside of class. I'm busy, they're busy. It's not always easy to find times to give them extra help. Canvas Conference has been really helpful for me. I've gotten great feedback from the students and from parents actually as well on that. So I think it's worth mentioning and just showing you really quickly how I've used that. When I use Canvas Conference, that's another thing I'll add to my calendar. And even though I'll ask them through face-to-face conversations, or I've used Google Forms just to, get feedback from them, when is the best time if I try to fit all of your schedules. But then I tell them, I'm not going to be able to fit all of your work schedules. So I'll put, this is for in case you missed it. I record the help sessions and I put a link in the calendar. And just to give you a quick idea of what it looks like. So this ended up being
conference.
Yeah. Okay. A rather long.
This is my chapter
video. So you won't watch the whole thing, of course. But I'm just going to get sort of in the middle of it.
A lot more than 2.
I had different numbers of students. Not everyone hung in there for the entire conference. That's okay. I told them you're not stuck.
I'm not
Stay
a fan
for as long as you
how
want. So that's enough of that. So I've been using Canvas Conferences and that's been super helpful. I was so happy to come up to discover that particular feature of Canvas this year, because I've been thinking, how can I help them outside of class when I'm not able, to always be there after school? Maybe I'll use Skype. And so that's been really convenient. Hopefully this has given you an idea of how I use this in my classroom.
Canvas has changed my delivery of instruction as an English teacher by allowing me to be in more than one place at one time. For example, I can have multiple stations going in my room at one time. I could record myself teaching a mini lesson. I could read a picture book or a portion of a book that students can watch on their own. And then that frees me up to personally guide a station, yet be present around the room.
Canvas has not necessarily changed the way that I instruct or the way that I present a lesson, but it is a really nice tool to have, and I'm grateful that we have it. First of all, Canvas is really easy to use. I am not very tech savvy, but I've been able to learn everything I need to know in Canvas quickly and with very little pain, and I think my students agree with that statement. In the past, I would have to maybe drag home 120 speech outlines back and forth until I had them all graded. And now all I take home is my laptop. Even better, grading things in Canvas, I'm able to leave much more detailed feedback for my students. And in return, I'm getting better outlines and better speeches. I love to do peer critiques in theater arts, and typically peer critiques don't go very well. I have a lot of freshmen in that theater arts class, and they're afraid of hurting feelings, so they leave pretty generic comments like, "Great job, I really love it." But now with Canvas, I can set the whole assignment up to be anonymous. The reviewer doesn't know who the writer is, the writer doesn't know who the reviewer is, and therefore I get much more honest feedback, much more detailed feedback, and again, I get better performances overall, which I really appreciate. I have not found a single feature of Canvas that I don't like or doesn't work with my lesson plans and what I'm trying to accomplish in my class.
Canvas has made learning easier for me because things are more organized and I can find assignments quicker and turn them in when I need to.
I think Canvas had made school easier for me because it organizes all of your classes together, and it shows you all of your assignment notifications, when stuff is due, and it's got this big calendar layout that it helps with some people, and just made it really simple.
I never lose any of my stuff. It's organized and I can get to all my things and I never lose anything.
The Canvas conferences have helped me improve my grades in tests and quizzes, especially in understanding how it all works.
I'm going to feed off his a little because the Canvas conferences have really increased my grades on tests and quizzes, and when it comes to understanding more, having you like face-to-face through a computer is really helpful. And the activities also help a lot when it comes to making it click more.
Good. What kind of activities are you talking about?
Desmos and the Quizlets we do in class as a class. I think it's helpful that they're always the Canvas. If we forget our homework, we can always just go to there, click on it, and it'll tell us exactly what we did in class, and it'll tell us our homework assignment.
That's true.